Comet Sportsman, need you on grid, please. Bring him up. Comet Sportsman, you're needed on grid. Tag Senior, you're pre-grid. Yamaha Senior be an 8-lap pre-final here at the Carolina Motorsports Park. 16 turns, 7/10 of a mile. We'll do a little shortcutting. I was wondering if we were going to start using shortcuts around here. Your pole sitter, Dakota Presick, and Patrick Olson will be outside row number 1, 51.195 for that 79 card of Dakota Presick. Low down clutches up, waiting as they go nice and slow coming into turn 1, that little dog leg into the left. And they'll start him just as they enter the dog leg there. Green flag in the air, we're racing. A little bumping going into turn number 1. They make it around turn 1, turn 2 easy. So Presick leads the way as they come through turn number 13. Turn 13, 14 leaning on that long front straightaway as they come out turn 16. 8 laps. Your pre-final, the 45, Patrick Olson in second, Chase Jones in third. As they slot through that turn 1-2 complex once again. Make that long run down the back stretch. Top 5 carts, nose to tail, a little jostling there. So your top 5 carts with a little bit of a breakaway. That's Pesic, Olson, Jones, Schneider, and Hughes. And looks like the 37 of Brubaker looked like he wanted to join the fun up there. So let's make that 6 carts now. Hey, Dakota Presick now back to third as Patrick Olson makes that pass. It's now Olson, Jones, Pesic, Schneider, and Hughes. Your top 5 here in the Yamaha Senior. So moving out to just a hair of a lead, it's going to be Patrick Olson as he reaches back, tweaks that motor just a little bit on that carburetor, tweaks that carburetor. It's Dakota Presick, gets back around Chase Jones. Chase Jones now to third. So we watch those top 5 carts. 6 carts now. Hughes makes up the 6. They come into that left-hander after the back straight. They now into that 12, 13, 14 complex. And it's tightened up just a bit up front. As Pesic looks like he's maybe able to make a move coming into turn number 1, but he'll hold off. Patrick Olson still leading the way. Pesic in second. Jones third. Schneider fourth. Derek Hughes in fifth and Brubaker sixth. Once again, your top 5 drivers continue single files. It's halfway now. 4 down, 4 to go. And you can't put a business car between Olson and Presick. 51.429. Quick time there for Dakota Presick. So as we watch those drivers through that 3-4 complex into that left-hander, turn 5 and turn 6 now. Back up to the dogleg left, turn 7. And then the double apex right-hander, 9-10. Move Chase Jones up a spot. He gets around Dakota Presick. Does Jones have anything for Olson? Olson's led since lap number 2. We're coming to 2 to go this time by. It's now Olson, Jones, Pesick, Schneider, and Hughes. Your top 5 here in Yamaha Senior. I need Comet, sportsman on the grid. Comet, sportsman on the grid. Tag Senior, your pre-grid, please. No separation between those top 5 drivers. They continue. 6 laps, 2 to go. They'll pick up the white flag this time by. Your leader now under heavy pressure from Chase Jones in that 17 cart. Can he do anything with him? Patrick Olson once again led since lap number 2. This is going to be a place to do it right here as they come off this turn number 16 and headed down that long front straightaway into the dog leg. No move. There's a move and a spin. We've got one driver around. Do not have the number there. That was one of your top 3 carts. Just went around as they entered that turn 5 under braking. Chase Jones now leading the way. Olson back to second. And that was Dakota Pesick, who spun as they came into turn number 5 under braking. Cannot tell you. Checkered flag out. Chase Jones is going to take the win over Patrick Olson, Brett Schneider, Derek Hughes, Darren Brubaker in 5th. So next up, your Comet Sportsman pre-final, sponsored by GT7. Tag Senior, you're on grid. Yamaha Rookie, your pre-grid. Bring them up, please. Our GT7 sponsored Comet Sportsman Group, Brandon Lemke on pole. Pole time 53.567. Front row is going to be Brandon Lemke and Zach Holden. Row number 2, John Paul Southern Jr. and Austin Schaff. Row 3, Anthony Ganji Jr. and Alex Bertoliani. Row number 4 will be David Malukas and Michael Cruz. And rounding out our field will be Leonardo Stoya. So 53.567 quick time in qualifying. So once again, once these very, very slow roll-ups to the start, as we'll start these carts as they enter the dog leg into turn number 2. Green flag out, and we're racing.
Is the pole on the left or the right?
And already cart out into a big lead, about 4 cart lengths. So we see them tighten up a little bit as they come into turn number 5. That's the 0-1 of Brandon Lemke, your pole sitter, already out to about a 3 cart length lead now. Lemke on that Merlin. Also your points leader. So at the line, it's Lemke, Southern Jr., Ganji Jr., Zach Holden, Austin Schaff, your top 5. 16 turn 7/10 of a mile road course here at Carolina Motorsports Park. Ganji Jr. looking to make a pass there on John Paul Southern Jr. looking a little bit racy. That he's sitting 3rd right now. Making a good little run off of turn 16. Can he do anything with him as they come down this straightaway? He looks to the inside. And he'll hold station. He looks to the inside there. He'll take that position in turn 2. So take that position. Move Anthony Ganji Jr. up to 2nd. As I look at my track map here, that's actually not a turn. They're calling the dog leg not a turn, and the first left-hander is turn 1. So that GT7 Motorsports driver, Anthony Ganji Jr., now up into 2nd. Named GT7 sponsored Comet Sportsman class. Little racing back there. They're side by side between Zach Holden and Anthony Schaff. Now Holden moves up to 3rd. John Paul Southern Jr. to 4th. Malukas to 5th. Great battle back there for 3rd. Your top 2 drivers, Lemke and Ganji Jr., starting to break away just a bit. Ganji looks to the inside, gives him a little bump, says, hello, I'm there, let's go. Up into turn number 9 as they start that short shoot down to turn 11. And as noted, we're broken up into groups of 2 now. Here we go, racing 2 by 2, and I'm not going to finish the song. So Malukas now up to 3rd. 4 down, 4 to go. David Malukas to 3rd. Zach Holden drops back to 4th. Austin Schaff up to 5th. Ganji all over the back of Brandon Lemke there trying to get by. He's got 3 more laps to do it in. All over the back. Malukas there in 3rd. with Zach Holden right behind him. Anthony Ganji Jr. got a good run as they come down into turn number 1. He'll stay stationed and hold on to that second spot. Maluka still holding on to third with Zach Holden right behind him. Currently holding fifth, Austin Schaff. Quick time of the race looks like it's going to be 53.456. 53.456, Anthony Ganji Jr. And a little bit of a distance there. That's the biggest distance I've seen between these two drivers all day. Brandon Lemke, Anthony Ganji Jr. It's about a cart length. In the last few laps, it's been less than a business card. So is Ganji dropping back to get a run? We'll see. 2 laps. 2 laps to go. And unable to make a move, but Ganji is now back within a bumper length of leader Brandon Lemke. So you make that long run down that short back straightaway into turn number 5. Coming to the white flag. How bad does Ganji Jr. want this win? Again, a lot of these drivers here not having a weekend off from racing, as we've had several winter tour events. Lots of racing down in Florida the last couple months, as they're not far from Florida here in South Carolina. Ganji looks over his left shoulder. Does he have company? White flag in the air. Can he do anything with Brandon Lemke? Austin Schaff has gotten around Zach Holden, moves into that 5th spot. And looks like Austin Schaff tried to make a move there on David Malukas, lost a little bit of ground as Malukas now looks like he's trying to catch up to the backside of Ganji Jr. They've closed that gap up. And Ganji looks to the inside. He'll take that position away going into turn number 5. And took it right back, Brandon Lemke. So a pass and repass. And lost a little bit of ground as Malukas now on the back bumper of Anthony Ganji. It's going to come down to the last 2 turns. Who's going to do it? Malukas now in second. Ganji drops back to third. It's going to be a drag race for third. Brandon Lemke is going to take the win. In second, it's going to be David Malukas. Austin Schaff in third. Zach Holden fourth. Anthony Ganji Jr. in fifth. Great racing on the last lap, the last 5 or 6 turns. I smell tag. Tag's up. Derek Dingdon in your pole position with a 48.189. Mike Geeson will be row 2. Outside row number 1. Row 2 will be Garrett Johnson and Jake Johnson. Row number 3 will be Tommy Anderson and Jonathan Kotick. Row 4 will be Mason Chalutz and Jacob Neuven. Row 5, Robbie Seward and Logan Bearden. Row 6 will be Jesus Rios and Jacob Donald. Row 7, Daley Pagano and Andrew Bejoso. Row 8 will be Brandon Johnson and Patrick Soares. Row 9 will be Trenton Walco and Mark Boos. Row 10, Michael Pagano and Ayrton Climo. Row 11 will be Jacob Duvall and Scott Coop. Row 12 will be Ryan Nash and James Raffield. And row 13, Olivia Scagliano and Chris Guillermo. As we roll into turn number 1, we're going to have no start this time by. We'll line them back up. As we had some stragglers back there. So we'll go one more time around. 26 carts here in your tsracing.com tag senior. Once again, nice slow roll up here. 26 carts. Green flag in the air. We're racing as we come into turn number 1. Nice and slow through there. Looks like everybody gets through. A little bit of jostling as they come through turn 3 down into that straightaway. Your top 4 drivers with a bit of a breakaway. And Mike Geeson out to a good start. He's got 5 cart lengths now. And Mike Geeson looks to be trying to run away with this. So Geeson already out by 9/10 of a second over Garrett Johnson, Derek Dignan, Jake Johnson, and Mason Chalutz. Your top 5. Jonathan Kotick 6th, Logan Bearden 7th, Jesus Rio 8th, Robbie Seward in 9th, Jacob Neuven in 10th. 9/10 of a second lead there for Mike Geeson over Garrett Johnson. They run back there and through turn number 11. Good bit of side-by-side driving. That's back behind Jonathan Kotick. Looks like Logan Beard and Jesus Rios as they continue to battle away. So we see Garrett Johnston drops back to 3rd as Derek Dignan moves up to 2nd. Logan Bearden up to 6th, gets that spot away from Jonathan Kotick. Robbie Seward moves up to 8th, gets a position away from Jesus Rios. And that gap starting to decrease ever so slightly for Mike Geeson. Derek running 48.884, quickest lap of the event this morning. 48.884. As that gap is actually getting closer and closer to Mike Geeson. We got 3 laps. Will be halfway next time by. It's now 7/10 of a second between Geeson and Dignan. Oh, and one driver into the grass puts a cone out on the track at turn number 1. He made a late braking move and ended up going through the grass. Did a little agriculture racing out there at the end of turn number 1. So Derek Dignan, he leads a group of Garrett Johnson and Jake Johnson as they try to track down Mike Geeson there. Quick lap now, 48.727. And I see Mike Johnson now resets that, 48.660. That gap is now under a half a second as Dignan moves in, trying to catch Geeson. Be 2 to go this next time by for your leader currently, Mike Geeson. Mike has led from the drop of the green flag. Nobody's been able to mount a charge now, but they come to 2 to go. It's as close as it's ever been. It's now under 0.4 of a second. No change in your top 5. It's Geeson, Dignan, Johnston, Chalutz. As the only bit of movement looks to be for 20th as Trenton Walkle gets around Jacob Duvall back there for 20th spot. As we are as close as it's ever been, looks like Derek Dignan looks like he may be able to mount a challenge here with 1 lap to go on Mike Geeson. They're within a cart length. Let's watch your leaders as they come out of turn number 16. Does he have anything for him? So some movement in the back of the field back there. We'll get that as they come across the line and they touch. It's a battle back there for 6. So Dignan unable to make a move in the back half of the track as they come through. Turn 16, he's up beside him. Does a slide move, and he's got a good run. Can he hold him off? He looks deep into the corner. And actually looks like he went off track. So at the checkered flag, Mike Geeson takes the win over Garrett Johnston, Jake Johnston, and Derek Dignan, who was running in second. He'll drop to 4th. Robbie Seward in 5th. and Andrew Costellucci. Row number 3 will be Tyler Ferris and Griffin Kuntz. Row 4, Parker Abed and Jeremy Fairbairn. Row number 5 will be Madison Campo and Brian Tremper Jr. Row 6 will be Jaden Larson and Gunnar Bischoff. Row 7, Nick Shepard and Tyler Maxson. Row number 8, Carter Cass and Robert Noker. Row 9, Eli Fox and Max Kolowski. Row 10 will be Andrew Bish and Caleb Tate. Row 11, Tyler Proctor and Bo Power. Row 12, Amelia Cagliasso and Tyler Drake. And row number 13 will be Ryan Detler and Mason Main. Little faster run up to the start here than is normal. So we're rolling into turn number 1. Green flag in the air. We're racing as they spread out about 5 or 6 wide as they come into turn number 1. So your pole sitter, the number 2 cart of Connor Ferris. We'll see how he slots in here. Their top 2 drivers, looks like they moved away just a bit. So that was Connor Ferris leading the way with Gage Rogers in second. Andrew Costellucci in third. Tyler Ferris fourth. Griffin Coons in fifth. Top 2 drivers there of Rogers and Ferris try to break away as they're running nose to tail coming through turn number 6. Nice, compact little design here at the Carolina Motorsports Park. Very configurable. Watch lots of videos here online as they run this track. I've seen it run backwards. Rogers looks a very, very antsy trying to get around Ferris. And as they run, it's Ferris, Rogers, Tyler Ferris in third, Coons in fourth, Castellucci in fifth, Mark Finnis in sixth, Brian Tremper Jr. in seventh, Jeremy Fairbairn in eighth, ninth is Jaden Larson, and Madison Campo in 10th. Now that group up front is 3 drivers, Connor Ferris, Gage Rogers, and Tyler Ferris. As they're 3 wide as they go into turn number 1, we'll have to wait to see who comes out of that one in front. Now Tyler Ferris has dropped back to second as Gage Rogers takes over that top spot. Quick time seems to be 56.040 by Tyler Ferris. As they run, it's Rogers, Ferris, Coons, and Fines. Your top 5. Big battle back there for that 6th spot. That's going to be between Andrew Castellucci, Brian Temper Jr., Jeremy Fairbairn, and Madison Campo. Those 4 drivers looks like they had a little contact as they came into turn number 5. So now with 2 laps to go, next time by, Gage Rogers still leads the way. Tyler Ferris in 2nd, Connor Ferris 3rd, Griffin Coons 4th, Mark Finance in 5th. So it looks like Brian Temper Jr. moved up to 6th, Jeremy Fairbairn to 7th. Good bit of racing up front there for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, 4th, and 5th between Coons and Fines. Gage Rogers leading the way. Now 2 laps to go. Ferris looking, trying to make a pass. Will he do it coming into turn number 1? No. Tyler Ferris looking to make a pass as they come out of turn number 6. Rogers going to hold on to that position. Ferris into 2nd. They're going to have 1 more lap this time by. They'll be showing the white flag. So we'll pick up our leaders as they come off of turn number 16, moving to the inside. Ferris moves way to the inside as Tyler Ferris did get around Connor Ferris. So Gage Rogers still holding on to that lead. Very slim, though. As those drivers are nose to tail coming into turn 6. Rogers a little wide on his exit. Coming through that 9-10 double apex right-hander. Making the run down through 11 and 12 in front of the timing trailer here. They've got 3 more turns. Gage Rogers still leads the way. So checkered flag. Looks like it's going to be a drag race to the finish for 2nd and 3rd. Connor Ferris takes that position back away from Tyler. It's Rogers in 1st, Connor Ferris 2nd, Tyler Ferris 3rd, Griffin Coons 4th, and Mark Finesse in 5th. That's your New Jersey Sprint Series Yamaha Rookie Pre-Final. Up next will be Yukon USA Cadet Sportsman. Cadet Sportsman, you're on grid. Comet Pro, you're pre-grid. Yamaha Junior, you'll be pre-grid shortly, so move them up, please. There's a first as they roll out. Our Cadet Sportsman group already lined up, ready to take that green flag. And it's out. We're racing. I must have missed the driver's meeting this morning to say that Cadet's going to go first time by. Yeah, they're racing. So your pole sitter, Mr. David Malukas. Outside row number 1 was Anthony Ganji Jr., row 2, Zach Holden and Brandon Lemke. Row 3, Michael D'Orlando, John Paul Southern Jr. Row 4, Devin Buto and Lance Fenderson. Row 5, Sam Mayer and Luke Fines. As well sit here and we'll watch these racers as I see Mr. Anthony Ganji Jr. now leading the way. Pop the back of his helmet to say, Mr. Malukas, let's get going. Malukas tucked up right up underneath that back bumper of Ganji. As they'll run down that long straightaway. Top 3 carts got a good 1 second gap. As they're battling as they come through turn 1 for 4th on back. So there's a pass for that 4th spot that looks like it may be Brandon Lemke over Michael D'Orlando based on my timing screen. We'll see as they come back around. So if you're watching online, your leaders, that's your top 3 carts as they come around. That's Ganji Jr., David Malukas now leading over Anthony Ganji Jr. and Zach Holden. 3 different cart makes there. Looks like you've got a Perilla. Catch them as they come back around here. So now it's Malukas, Ganji Jr., Zach Holden 3rd, Lemke now 4th, Fenderson 5th, D'Orlando drops back to 6th. As they're bunching it up back there for that 4th spot. Those top 3 drivers continue to battle it out as Ganji Jr. is taking that top spot back away from David Malukas. Again, these drivers now have a 1.3 second gap back to that 4th spot. Malukas running 6 inches off the back bumper of Ganji Jr. as they come through that turn 11, 12, 13 complex, getting ready to run into this long straightaway. Malukas with a run. He looks to the inside as they come into turn number 1. He'll take that spot, and he looks like he's going to take Zach Holden right with him. So let's move Anthony Ganji Jr. back to 3rd. Ganji looking to make a move now back on Holden. But as this battle continues up front, there's still a good battle back there for 4th. Brandon Lemke leading that group of Lemke, Fenderson, D'Orlando, Southern Jr., and Buto. Sam Mayer's included in that group. Can Anthony Ganji Jr. pick it up? He's going to have halfway this time by. He led last time. Now it's Malukas, Holden, Ganji Jr. looking down that long straightaway. And we'll move David Malukas back to second. And he looks to the inside coming into turn number 5 and takes that top spot back away from Zach Holden. That group for 4th is now dropped back to 5 carts. Lemke, Fenderson, D'Orlando, Southern Jr., Buto. As they're side-by-side racing, it looks like Michael D'Orlando and Lance Fenderson went through turn number 14 side-by-side. Anthony Jr. with a good run as they come off of turn number 16. He's holding steady behind Holden. Is he going to make the move? Both drivers again back around David Malukas. So Holden to the lead. Ganji second. Malukas back to 3rd. So pass after pass, lap after lap. Malukas in third. Ganji second. There again, there's a good pass back there for that 4 spot. A pass and a repass. Those 4 drivers right there as they came through turn number 5, 6. 2 wide. So that shuffled up quite a bit back for 4th. Holden leading the way over Ganji Jr. Malukas in third. It's the 51 of Michael D'Orlando. He's going to hold on to that 4 spot now. Good bit of racing. 5 carts there for that 4 spot. 2 laps to go. Who's going to pass who coming in? Zach Holden leads the way. And no passes. They come into turn number 1. It's going to be Holden, Ganji Jr. Malukas. Your top 3, D'Orlando, Lemke, round out your top 5. Malukas to the inside of Ganji, takes that spot away. Now he's right behind Holden. He loses a little bit of ground to Holden, now about 2 cart lengths. He's going to pick up the white flag this time by. Malukas moved up a little bit. Ganji looks to the inside as they come through 14. Now Malukas to the inside in turn number 14 takes that spot away. Your new leader is going to be David Malukas. Has gone from 3rd to the lead in about 6 laps. So at the line, David Malukas leads the way over Anthony Ganji Jr. and Zach Holden. As they hold steady with 1 lap to go. So the final lap, David and Malukas still leading the way. We'll see when they pop out coming into turn number 5. Ganji in second, Malukas first. Zach Holden back there in third. Zach looked to the inside around Ganji as they came out of turn number 6.
Thank you.
Watch these drivers as they come through 11. Malukas still leading the way. Ganji second. Ganji to the inside. They're side by side. They're rubbing. Ganji now the lead. They on top. Oh, Malukas jumped on top of the back of Ganji Jr., so they'll lose a little bit of ground. Zach Holden's going to take the win. Anthony Ganji Jr. second. David Malukas third. So a little bit of contact there in turn number 14 as the drivers end up jumping on top of the cart. So no harm, no foul. Zach Holden takes the win here over Anthony Ganji Jr., David Malukas, Brandon Lemke 4th, and Lance Fenderson in 5th. Out next is our high torque Comet Pro. Starting row number 1 with the pole, Patrick Olson in that 45 cart. Patrick had pole time of 50.490. Jonathan Kotick from Florida will be outside row 1. Darren Marcus and Joel Jans round out row number 2. Jacob Dunkovich and Darren Brubaker row 3. Row 4 will be Brent Schneider and Alfonso Perry. Row 5 will be Daley Pagano and Tommy Anderson. Once again, pole time 50.490 for Mr. Patrick Olson. Yamaha Junior, you're on grid, please. Tag Masters, you're pre-grid. Bring them up. Nice slow roll down to turn number 1. Couldn't get much slower. Sands through the hourglass. Green flag is out. We're racing. Looks like Olson gets a great lead. So he and Kodak have taken off. And they'll gap the field just a little bit. So a bad start there for Jonathan Kodak. He's going to slot back into that 6th spot. Jonathan started outside row number 1, dropping back already to 6. But Patrick Olson continues with that lead. It's Olson, Marcus, Dunkovich, Pagano, and Jens, your top 5. This Comet Pro Group, there's a $300 to win best average weekend finisher. $300 to win. The end of the series, the end of the season for the national champion, a $2,000 check and a KPV motor will be handed out. So our top 3 carts, Olson, Marcus, and Dunkovich, have a bit of a breakaway from Jonathan Kodak, who's now back up to 4th. He moves up 2 spots that last lap. He's taking Joel Jens with him as they both get around Daly Pagano. $50.872 quick time for Patrick Olson. As he has about a half a second lead over Darren Marcus there. So I'm continuing to watch hard charging Jonathan Kodak, see if he can play catch up. He's got about a half a second gap in front of him to Jarrett Donkovich. And he's making good inroads as they come into that long front straightaway coming into turn number 1. So Kodak now has caught up to the backside of Donkovich. Will he be able to make the move? It was a 0.7 of a second gap last time by. It's now just 0.2 of a second. Very protective line as they come into turn number 1. Kodak unable to do anything with Mr. Donkovich. As your leader, Patrick Olson, continues to stretch it out. He's got 0.8 of a second lead over Darren Marcus. Marcus now almost 2 seconds ahead of Jaron Donkovich. So Kodak did get around Jarrett Donkovich. Now move him into 3rd. Kodak's quick time, 51.036. Quick time of the session here, 50.872 by Patrick Olson. Joel Jens has gotten around Jarek Donkovich also, so move Joel Jens into that 4th spot. So 2 laps to go. Patrick Olson with a 1-second lead over Darren Marcus. Jonathan Kotick still holding on to that 3rd spot. He's 3 seconds back from Marcus, so don't think he's going to be able to make much of a charge. Kotick did pull Joel Jens through with him. Now Jens in 4th. Donkovich dropped back to 5th. Jonathan Kotick, an OGP driver, missing out on the mock races down at OGP today for the rest of the team. So white flag in the air. It's Olson, Marcus, Kotick, Jens, Donkovich. Your top 5 here in Comet Pro. An 8-lap pre-final. Up next will be Yamaha Junior. Yamaha Junior needs to be on grid. Tag Masters pre-grid. And Yamaha Sportsman needs to be pushing up, please. Once again, these are 8-lap pre-finals. Remind everyone tomorrow, if you'll look at your schedule, there is a scheduled quiet hour on your schedule. And that's from 11 a.m. to noon. It's mandatory. That's no motors running, no race motors running between 11 a.m. and noon. So Patrick Olson takes the win. He'll set quick lap, 50.872. Darren Marcus 2nd, Jonathan Kotick 3rd, Joel Jens 4th, and Derek Donkovich in 5th. All right, out next are Ultra Racing Engines Yamaha Junior. On the pole be Braden Eves and outside row number 1, Gresham Wagner. Row 2, Clay Van Aert and Brendan Baker. Row 3, Emerson Reed and Austin McCusker. Row 4, Brandon Jarsakrak and Grant Quinlan. Row 5 will be Killian Keaveney.
Oh my God. Oh, I thought your son fell.
All right, 29 drivers getting to roll in for an 8-lap pre-final.
So how many continents are you up to?
I'm still at 5. Dina's at 6.
Okay.
Antarctica's next. So the 41 of Braden Eves leading the way. He's got about a 2-cart length lead.
Go ahead.
Brendan Baker in second. Clay Van Aert third. Gresham Wagner fourth, and Grant Quillian in fifth. So already a shake-up there at the front. Our pole sitter, Brandon Eves, with a 51.928. See if he gets any quicker. Top 2 drivers breaking away about 0.7 of a second. Back to third place, Clay Van Aert. And Van Aert under pressure from Gresham Wagner and Grant Quillian. Yamaha Junior, sponsored here by Wolter Racing Engines. Up next will be Tag Masters, followed by Yamaha Sportsman. So Baker gets around Eves as they come to turn number 6. Your new leader is going to be Brendan Baker. Eves looks like he doesn't want to have anything to do with that, as he's going to try to get that position back. Your top 2 drivers now a second clear of Clay Van Aert. Going down to turn number 1. Does Eves have enough to get by? No, he'll stay in second. Brandon Jarsakrak now to third. Clay Van Aert in fourth. Gresham Wagner moves up to fifth. Austin McCusker 6th. Emerson Reed 7th. Tazio Torgiani in 8th. Ryan Raffa 9th. And Matt Solarzik in 10th. Brandon Eves gets a good run as they come off of that turn number 10 into 11. Unable to do anything with him, and that right-hander looks to the inside. Eves going to take that position away in turn number 16. It's a drag race down to turn number 1. Eves it with the lead. Little heavy braking loose as they come into turn number 1. He holds on to that lead. Let's see if he can hold on to it as they come in through 3, 4, and 5. So back to the lead, Brendan Baker. An over and under move. Braden Eves comes back. Now through turn number 10, they're coming into 11, 12. Eves still leads the way. Good bit of racing here as these drivers very close. All righty, black and checkered in the air. Brendan Baker takes the win. Brandon Jarza Kraken second, Austin McCusker third, Emerson Reed fourth, Gresham Wagner fifth. So a shakeup up front. Braden Eves once led the way in that 41 cart, drops back all the way to 25th. Alrighty, out next will be Tag Masters, sponsored by DRT Racing. Tag Masters up for their pre-final. Yamaha Sportsman, you're on grid. Perilla Senior, you're pre-grid. Scott Ferris, Chuck Tate lead the groups down to turn number 1. Our Tag Masters pre-final. Green flag's out. Scott Ferris had the pole time of 49.234. "13 drivers make up this group, a big group of, looks like foreign drivers out here this weekend. So Scott Ferris leading the way. Who's that in second? With the 3-digit number.
3. Chuck Tate.
603, Chuck Tate.
Use the cardboard Vortex pen.
You gonna change it?
No, we're only allowed 2 digits. We don't do 4 digits. He just
And did not make it over there. Is there still cards in the scale line for that last race? The only one would like to talk to you, I think it's
So Chuck Tate in that 603 cart trying to put the pressure there on Scott Ferris. as they run Ferris, Tate, McAvoy, Schweier, Carapaletti in fifth. 49.318 quick time for Scott Ferris. And Chuck Tate, again, trying to put the pressure there through turn number 5 and 6. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That run up to that double right-hander. Turn 9 and 10.
I was just checking to see. I thought they said scales was clear on the Yamaha junior class.
Well, you're double checking right quick.
10-4, I'll stand by.
It's like one driver, Tony Spalding, not making the race. And through lap number 3, Ferris still leads the way over Tate, McAvoy, Schweier, and Carapaletti. Looks like Scott Ferris is going to be the recipient of a few more points this weekend. He's currently sitting in second. Brian McCaddy, who had the double win there at Daytona, not here this weekend. Scott Falcone currently sitting third in points, not here this weekend. And Jeff Jewell in fifth, not here this weekend. So several drivers going to move up as we pick up halfway. Once again, if you're here to WKA event, no scooters, bicycles, tricycles, heelys, wheelies allowed on the premises at any time. So white flag in the air. Scott Ferris leading by 1.1 seconds. Great battle there between Brian McAvoy and Chuck Tate. So your leaders will pick up the checkered flag next time by. Scott Ferris 1 second away from Bryant McAvoy, so he'll be unchallenged. The 603 of Chuck Tate has got around Brian McAvoy, and they're going to battle through turn 13, 14. There's a great battle there for second, but it looks like it's going to be Chuck Tate going to hold him off. Chuck Tate, and at the line for third, it was 0.02 of a second between Brian McAvoy and Steve Schweier, with Brian McAvoy coming in third. So at the line, Ferris, Tate, McAvoy, Schweier, and Carapaletti in fifth. Your Tag Masters pre-final. Rolling out look now and getting the green flag. It's our MRP Perilla Yamaha Sportsman. Zach Holden and Brandon Lemke led out row number 1, with Zach Holden on pole with a 54.608. Already watching David Malukas is up into third, almost had second. Trying to grab that position away there from Brandon Lemke. So at the line, Mr. Zach Holden's going to lead the way over Lemke, Malukas, Mayer, and Bramante, your top 5. Georgia's own Simon Sykes there in 6th, Neil Verhagen 7th, Michael DiOrlando in 8th, Luke Finus in 9th, and Michael Cruz in 10th. So our top 3 drivers continue to run nose to tail as they run through turn 1, 2, and 3. Holden still leading the way by about 0.2 of a second over Brandon Lemke. Malukas looks to make a move as he come into turn 5. He's side by side. He got the position. Can he hold on to it? So David Malukas now into second spot. So Zach Holden now got a little bit of breakaway, probably about 0.3 of a second to David Malukas, who got that position away from Brandon Lemke. 3 laps down, 5 to go. Lemke looking at a big run as they come into turn number 1. Unable to capitalize. Now your top 4 drivers running nose to tail. So Sam Mayer has joined in that fray. It's Holden, Malukas, Lemke, Mayer, and Sykes, your top 5 here in Yamaha Sportsman. Now Brandon Lemke and David Malukas fight at it as turn 13-14. Now it's back to David Malukas and Zach Holden. And they'll go across as they went across the last lap, although they changed up positions 3 or 4 different times from turn 10 to turn number 16. So now David Malukas has gotten back around and missed that pass. So make that double right-hander into turn number 10. Down through 11, it's Malukas, Holden, Lemke. So halfway, will be pick up that 2 to go next time by as David Malukas taps the back of that helmet as they come into that long straightaway into turn number 1. Lemke looks to the inside, gets around Holden. So now it's Malukas, Lemke, Holden, and back to Mayer. Sam Mayer just watching back in 4th spot, waiting for somebody to make a mistake. Malukas leading the way through 13. Malukas, Lemke, Holden, Mayer. 2 to go this time by. Is there going to be any movement coming into turn 1? We'll watch. They run status quo now. It sounded like one cart going by, a little off song there. So Malukas still leading the way with Lemke, Holden, Mayer in 4th. Back in 5th, it's Michael D. Orlando last time by with Simon Sykes in 6th. So they're battling out. That's the group behind this top 4. Michael D. Orlando in 5th. Simon Sykes in that black cart in 6th. So Sykes not too far from home here in South Carolina. All right, white flag is out. Will we see any moves coming into turn 1? No, so we're going to have to look for that move maybe back into turn 5 and 6. Malukas leading the way. No change in position through turn 5. Through up in the inside, looks like Lemke made a move. Lemke now leading the way with Malukas in 2nd. Holden looking for that 2nd spot, trying to get away from Malukas. So Brandon Lemke with a pass in that turn 9-10 complex takes the lead away from David Malukas. And at the line in the checkered flag, it's going to be the 0-1 of Brandon Lemke. Zach Holden in 2nd, Sam Mayer in 3rd, and David Malukas drops back to 4th. Anthony Ganji Jr. takes over that top 5 spot in 5th. Giovanni Bramante in 6th. Michael D. Orlando 7th. Neil Verhagen beats out brother Alex Verhagen for 8th and 9th. And Michael Cruz in 10th. Our Grand Products Top Kart Perilla Senior Race is underway. This is our pre-final. The number 9 of Cal Stewart leading the way. Derek Dignan in second. These two will battle it out for the top spot in qualifying this morning. Top spot 48.300. So Mason Chalutz now in second. It's Stewart, Chalutz, Anderson, Dignan, and Johnston. A little hard to tell those top carts apart since their numbers are barely legible. Great battle up front. 6 drivers. First through 6. Jacob Duvall up in that 6th spot. Jacob did not have the best qualifying effort here. He qualified in 7th. .48.807. Quick time so far. That's going to be between Derek Dignan. Derek currently running in that 4th spot. Slight breakaway for your top 2. That's Mason Chalutz and Cal Stewart. The battle continues. These two teammates, these two drivers continue to race side by side each other. There's one Prague and one top kart there. So now we'll pick up your leader on screen there.
It's all you. Marie said it was all Kelly.
One driver not seen here on my scoring board. That's Mike Geeson. Mike Geeson looks like he signed up, but no time in qualifying or the pre-final. So as they're running, Cal Stewart leads the way over Mason Chalutz, Derek Dignan, Tommy Anderson, Jacob Duvall, now up to 5th. So Cal Stewart now out to his biggest lead. It's going to be about 0.3 of a second at the line. Now it's half a second. Pointed black flag at one driver. Derek Dignan now up into second. He gets around Mason Chalutz. So your leader's going to pick up the 2 to go this time by. That Praga, driven by Cal Stewart, has led from the drop of the green flag. Derek Dignan looks over his shoulder to find Mason Chalutz. Very close. Top 4 driver breakaway. Stewart, Dignan, Chalutz, Anderson. They've got a second plus back to Jacob Duvall. Duvall drops back a spot as Andrew Bajoso gets back around him. So white flag out. Cal Stewart takes a big look over his shoulder. He says that Derek Dignan is a half a second back. So we won't call it clear sailing, but Cal Stewart's got a good lock on this race. As up next will be our Comet Junior, be our last pre-final of the day. Comet Junior, you should be on grid. Our leader's coming into turn number 11 now. Cal Stewart picking that right rear tire up high as he comes through turn 12. And he'll be safe for the win here in the Perilla Senior Pre-Final. Checker flag out. Cal Stewart wins. Derek Dignan in second. Mason Chalut's third. Tommy Anderson fourth. Andrew Bajoso fifth. And it looks like Jacob Duvall falling back through the field is going to end up in 13th. So a big move dropping back there for Jacob Duvall. All right, so a couple late starters here in our Comet Junior. So we'll go around one more time. Grant Quinlan with the pole. Grant Quinlan and Mike McAndrews will lead row number 1. Row 2 will be Austin McCusker and Davey Manthe. Row 3, Gresham Wagner and Alexander Kardashian. Row 4, Killen Keaveney and Tazio Torgiani. Row 5, Clay Van Eerd and Ryan Raffa. Row 6 will be Derek Sobel and Matt Solarzik. Row 7, Olivier Horn and Emerson Reed. Row 8, Braden Eves and Adam Sturgill. Row 9, Dario Kangalusi and Julia Boos. And row number 10, Devin Wojcik and Chris Newman. Pole time 50.457. Watching our drivers roll into turn number 1. We've got one slow kart that's not going to take the start right here. He's now coming through turn 16. So as we're clean through 16. We're green. The number 1 in the number 1 spot, that's Mike McAndrews. here in Comet Junior. So a couple of Perrillas decided to take off and lead this group. Mike McAndrews followed by Grant Quinlan, Davey Manthe, and Austin McCusker. All right, so Mike McAndrews still leads the way over Grant Quinlan. Now Davey Manthe Jr. into third, Alexander Kardashian in fourth, Keelan Keaveney in fifth. So up next we'll have our finals. First final of the day is going to be Yamaha Senior. Need you on the grid, please. Yamaha Senior, you're needed on the grid. Comet Sportsman, you're needed on pre-grid, please. Bring them up. This time by will pick up halfway, as we'll constantly have to remind our head flagman. Mike McAndrews leads the way. He's got a quick time of 50.843. Grant Quinlan in second, Davey Manthe Jr. in third, Keelan Keaveney fourth, Alexander Kardashian in fifth. So we watch a great little battle back there for fifth, as we've got several drivers led by Alexander Kardashian, Gresham Wagner, sixth, Tazir Torgiani in seventh. Top drivers running 2x2. The number one plate of Mike McAndrews continues to lead. He's led from lap number one. He'll pick up the 2 to go this time by. Looks like we may have a move into for third. No pass. That would have been Keelan Keaveney looking on David Manthe Jr. The closest battle we've got. Manthe looks into the inside now as they come through turn number 6. Keaveney unable to do anything with him. Top two drivers settled in to just run side or back nose to tail to finish off this pre-final. They'll be fine to finish that way as they'll pick up with a white flag this time by. As we watch this battle coming off turn number 16. That's going to be between Brandon Eves, Austin McCusker, Julian Boos, Adam Sturgill, Dario Cagliosi. Great little battle back there for that 15th spot. They're running side by side. So we'll watch these drivers as they come through turn number 5, see if we got any moves. Those 5 drivers battling out there for 15th position. Oh, bold move as Emerson Reed goes around Clay Van Aert. Barrels it into turn number 10. And at the line, Mike McAndrews wins over Grant Quinlan. Killian Keaveney in third. Davey Matthew Jr. fourth. Gresham Wagner in fifth.